What if the very love you turn away was the only one that could have healed you? 2:17 p.m., a Wednesday wash and drizzle. The kind of day that passes quietly, unnoticed. My boots splash through shallow puddles. Hardly a defense against the steady mist. A mutual friend had set up a lunch. I hadn't wanted to go, but I didn't refuse either. Inside the diner, silverware clinked, conversations hummed. Strangers wrapped in their own comfort. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room, not even close. But his laughter, rough, unpolished, genuine, caught my ear like a spark in the dark. His name was Noah. No rehearsed charm, no calculated gestures, just presence. When I spoke, he listened. Really listened, not the way people fake it, but with an unbroken, intent focus. His questions came carefully, not out of idle curiosity, but to understand. I'd mentioned my beagle in passing. I didn't think it mattered. 3 days later, a text arrived, a photo of a beagle-shaped keychain with the words, "This made me think of you. Small, thoughtful, pure Noah." I smiled at it, but I brushed it off, not because I wasn't drawn to him, because it was more than I was willing to face. I just clawed my way out of something hollow, a relationship that began like wildfire and burned itself out slowly, painfully, until nothing was left. No betrayal, no big explosion, just a slow drain of self. It left me cautious, suspicious of anything that felt too easy. Noah never pushed. He didn't demand space. He simply carved out room. A song he thought I'd like. A gentle check-in. Always kind, never invasive. Eventually, I said yes to dinner. A small bistro tucked into a cobbled corner of the city, scented with rosemary and rain. He opened the door, pulled out my chair, and never touched his phone once. Everything flowed, too naturally. I was used to love as a puzzle. Delayed replies, half answers, the constant math of emotional guessing. With Noah, there was no decoding, and that unsettled me. We kept meeting, no pressure, no deadlines. He let it unfold. But me, still shadowed by the ghost of someone else, I kept pieces of myself locked away. Whenever Noah tried to reach deeper, I retreated, changed the subject, hid behind humor. He noticed. One night, under the glow of city streetlights, he stopped walking. His gaze didn't flinch. "You don't need to guard yourself with me," he said softly. "I'm not here to hurt you." I offered a faint smile and stayed quiet. Not because I doubted him, but because I couldn't believe something so gentle could last. I didn't know how to accept someone who didn't make me chase. Then came the night I pushed him too far. A rooftop he had chosen. String lights swaying, soft music playing while the city blurred below. He asked about my week, listened like even the mundane was poetry. Then he leaned closer. "I care about you," he said. Just that, and I panicked. Looked away, laughed too quickly. Sipped wine I didn't want, and said the line that kills more good things than we'll ever know. "You're amazing, Noah, but I'm just not ready." I smiled as if it were a bandage instead of a blade. I watched it land. His shoulders stiffened, not in anger but in defense. He nodded. The smile he gave back wasn't real. It was the one worn by someone who's been here before. He asked for the check. "All right." Then he left. No begging. No last plea. Just a quiet exit. I sat staring at the water ring his glass left behind, convincing myself I'd done right. He deserved someone whole. But deep down I knew the truth. It wasn't him I didn't trust. It was me. He had seen me, fully, even the hidden parts. And instead of letting him in, I closed the door with a polite smile and words I claimed were protection. I told myself I was sparing him. In truth, I was sparing myself from being truly known and still loved. That night my phone stayed silent. Not blocked, just empty. I scrolled through old texts, the jokes, the playlists, the dog memes. Each one had been a quiet offering of care, now glowing like sunlight through fog. I didn't reach out. Told myself I'd only hurt him more. The deeper reason? I didn't know how to ask for another chance after telling him to go. Weeks blurred into months. I dated again. There was laughter, sparks even, but no one made me feel safe. No one gave me the quiet refuge Noah had. And I realized safety isn't boring. It's sacred. Then one afternoon, arms full of groceries, I saw him across the street, holding someone else's hand. She laughed at something he said, and he looked lighter than he ever did with me. That's when it struck me. He hadn't waited. He gave his love to someone who didn't hesitate, someone who didn't need time to believe she was worthy of it. I never messaged him, not because I didn't ache to, but because I knew she gave him what I hadn't. We don't always lose people because they stop loving us. Sometimes they leave because they realize we'll never choose them the way they chose us. And that's the sharpest loss, not the goodbye itself, but knowing we gave them every reason to say it. So if you're ever lucky enough to sit across from someone who truly sees you, not the polished version, but the hidden one, and your first instinct is to run, don't. Love that is gentle is not weak. Love that is steady is not dull. Saying I'm not ready is often just another way of saying I'm scared. I told Noah he was incredible. I told him I wasn't ready. And he smiled, paid the bill, and walked away.